Kashyap, our show is called Getting Drunk with Madira Vogue. So I would, like to toast a cheers to the great success of
Thank you so much.
Made in Heaven and
Thank you
such a great. Hello and welcome to Getting Drunk with Madira Vogue. Today I am so excited because I have a very interesting guest with me. Hi Kashyap.
Hi Priya.
Thank you for doing this. So Kashyap, just to start, you've been part of some amazing, I would say under the radar kind of, movie to, doing something very interesting now recently with Fame Games and Made in Heaven. But how was your journey? Because when I was researching about you, I also understood that you were into marketing as well. So how did the whole affair with entertainment industry begin for you?
So, I wanted to be an actor from the age of 5. I tried a bunch of times during college. I did a portfolio and sent it to people. Then, if someone had to come and tell me that, hey, there's a movie shoot happening and would you want to go and be there and, stand there. So I've also been in a movie where I would stand behind the junior artist and all of that. I would do that as well. Then I was a dancer as well. So I was with a group and then we were training with Farah Khan back in the day. So all of these things I did thinking these are just steps to get closer to the camera, but it didn't work then. Neither as a dancer and nor as a junior artist, but I do see myself sometimes. I'm there, you see me fading faintly somewhere, and
I think these are those reinforcements
yes.
have to
and then I had to take up a job and I had to fend for myself and for the family. In between I kept trying stints of modeling, but I suppose once you're on a job, things just take a backside, and it was almost like I was losing my dream, but something had to nudge me. I remember I was doing an event at Gymkhana, and it was almost an out-of-body experience that I was standing over there and everything stopped around me, and I was like, why am I doing this? What is my real dream and what is that I have lived with? And I remember that's when I called Zina and I said, listen, and this is when I was about 102 kilos because corporate life had a lot of alcohol, a lot of, sorry we're talking about alcohol, but a lot of food, a lot of alcohol, a lot of odd hours, and you work like, you just work. So the first thing I called her up and said, listen, I need to shed this weight and I need to do this. And it was 14th of August 2015. Okay. Roughly around 11th to 14th, I was doing an event, my sort of independence. And since then, and then I took about a year and a half, went into it, understood that, just looking a certain way is not going to help because the industry had changed a lot. You needed to be a fairly decent actor. So I started training. And I trained with my sir, Kashyap Opens Up, who was the creative producer of Filmistan, which was based on, the film was based on these two fans of Bollywood, meandering around their lives and still loving Bollywood. I trained with him, and that's when I understood if I really want to make something out of this, I have to be very, very serious about it.
But I must give it to you, Kashyap. You've been part of one of the short films, Custody.
Yep.
You were an actor and then went to win a national award.
Yes, it did.
How was the journey working with the stars there? And when you were making a short film, did you ever feel that this would win an award?
So I didn't make that film. I was the actor on board, and yes, I was part of the team. And Ambika Pandit was, she's written and directed, and her brother, who was also for a short while my coach in acting, Karan Pandit, they both had written the script and she was directing it. And it was a lovely process. It's one of those projects where all actors, she brought all actors, in one room, and we kept rehearsing, we kept
Wow.
building our characters. We kept reading the script, we kept engaging with each other, and she kept directing us, and the camera rehearsals were happening and all of that. So when we reached the set, we were already attuned with who we were as those characters and what we needed to bring out of ourselves. But here, the way she had set it, you almost could see people conversing and going through their lives, and the subject was very hard-hitting as
the
well.
movie subject is
Yes.
very interesting.
And honestly, I don't think when she was making it, she had hoped for a national award or any of the awards that IFLA for that matter, or any of that. I don't think she was working on that. I think the only thing that we all came together and under her guidance and vision was, let's make an honest film. Let's do an honest job. Let's just bring the most truest form of art, performing arts and filmmaking there. And as fate would have it, Custody won a national award, and I got a call.
Kashyap, our show is called Getting Drunk with Madira Vogue. So I would, like to toast a cheers to the great success of
Thank you so much.
Made in
Thank you.
Heaven and
Thank you,
such a
really.
great show that
Thank
you guys have.
This was quick. Are we done already?
No, we're just getting started. Like I was, when I was seeing the show, and the kind of show Made in Heaven is, this time they have crossed the boundaries,
Right.
Be it on homophobia, on caste discrimination, or abuse in the the whole domestic violence that they've crossed, like tried to bring out such an interesting way of portraying that whole conversation on screen. So when you guys were preparing it, how was your journey while the preparation was on?
So as far as Made in Heaven is concerned, it's a huge project. It's a beast of a show. Even in the OTT space, and if you see, each episode has there is a cast which sort of travels through across the weddings and functions and their lives and all of that, and then there were all the other actors, including myself. So my rehearsals and readings were mainly with Arjun, who played Karan, Arjun Mathur. And because one, it was, if you see Akshay's character and Karan's character and their relationship, it's very intimate. They're always they never bring themselves out, sharing their personal space actually in public. I mean, there's this one scene we had, we're at a party, and then one scene we're at a restaurant before, just when we break up. Sorry, spoilers for those who haven't watched the show yet. So it was very, very intimate with him. Alankrita, the director, Alankrita Srivastav, she got us in one room, and we went through just...
Okay, so there were multiple rehearsals.
And it was a very, organic way of doing it, that we both were just chatting together, we just knowing each other and all of that, and understanding the dynamics of these two people, why they come together, and less to do with what their past are, because as two people that they come together, they come as two strangers together. So what strikes between them is just that first time when they see each other. And
it looks so organic. It looks so real when you both are on the street. It didn't feel like it was something which was planned and
because we didn't over rehearse it. We didn't over rehearse it, and we were not over directed also. It did not need that degree of rehearsal, so to speak. Of course, you work on your character and all of that, and then he's been doing that for the last 4 years. He's done it back then, and he was now as well. But what really made easy for me was given he was in those scenes, and how he let me in that world, because it's largely Karan and Tara's world. If you see Made in Heaven, and it was he made it very comfortable and conducive for me, to come into their space and let me own my space there as well. Together we could create something. So that sort of made it very organic.
Very organic, and such a beautiful chemistry. So the chemistry was awesome between you and Arjun, and the whole thing looked so nice and organic on screen. But when you were doing this, so you were picking up this role as Akshay, were you ever feared that you would be kind of typecast into the kind of LGBTQ roles ahead? Were you thinking like, was there a thought like that ever?
So I'll answer this a little differently. I remember just before this I had done Fame Game, which was the OTT launch of the Madhuri Dixit, and I play her confidant and her makeup artist and a very close friend of hers. He is a gay man as well. Billy is a gay man, and he's not too out there and all of that, but he has his quirks. If you watch the show, you see that he's that gay man trying to figure out his life in this world. There are these two casting directors who had cast me for that, Nandini and Karan. And I remember after I auditioned for this, and Karan had called me and he's like, Kashyap, there are some steamy scenes and this and that. I said, at the end of the day, it's a human being, right? I mean, and one of my friends, best friends, is a gay man, and if you meet him, he's a human being.
Yeah.
Right? So to play a human is what our job is. My only reservation was when I called Karan and I said, Karan, we've just finished Fame Game and I've played Billy's character and he's a gay man. Do you think I should? So it's not that I was very clear, oh, so what? And we of course have these kind of ideas of अगर हो गया stereotype और अगर ऐसा कुछ हुआ तो and I asked him, Karan, do you think I should do it immediately after Fame Game? So he very beautifully answered. He's like, Kashyap, no two gay men are same. And that's it. And then I said, yes, done. And I remember I was in Mahabalipuram. I was shooting for something, and that's when he had called me. He's like, the directors, all 4 directors have seen your takes, and they all fell in love with you. And and then I came back. I met Zoya, and just when I met her in her office itself, and we were doing a reading of a scene, the way she approached it, I said, I have to do this. I have to do this because one is it's all about the portrayal. It's all the vision of the directors, and sometimes some directors end up crossing the line just to feed to the fluff or the fun bit of it, which is not really fun. But she was being honest. She wanted to show her life. And more and more when I understood about Akshay, I said, he's a cool guy to work with, he's a fun guy to be.
The on-screen, the whole way your role has been portrayed is amazing. I'm sure a lot of people have must have told you.
Yes. A lot of appreciation, and I'm very, very grateful.
So coming to, you mentioned about Fame Game, which was again a very amazing character to play, and being a confidant of Madhuri Dixit on screen. How was it like to work with the diva? She's the OG,
I remember we were at our first day of reading was at JW Marriott Juhu, and I was running a little late. I was late by about 10 minutes, and I just walked into the foyer area, and I can see there are people, there's a production team, there are directors, etc. Bijoy was there. Uncle was there, Uncle Niwari was there, and then she was standing over there. And so, in just that moment, I just took a breath because we all have grown up singing her songs, dancing to her songs, and I mean it's that old romance that each one of us, from our generation has grown up just admiring her, right? And then I meet her, and you just meet this humble person who, hi, I'm Madhuri, and I was like, yes, I know, you're so Madhuri, sweet. And so that moment of was there, but then of course the kind of professional that she is, one had to take that on as well and be just as professional and take the side and be like, okay, she's here to do something very, very seriously, and you'll have to just be as serious about it. And at the same time, she's fun because she has a great sense of humor. She's fabulous at making these different kind of sounds. It's this innate talent that she has, and it's just a room full of comfortable people. There is no such thing of I'm sitting next to Martin, I'm sitting next to my co-star, and that's what she brings. That's like essentially what she brings, comfort. And that humility is what you take back, and you learn from these people, because they've spent 35 years into the industry, and to hold on to that stardom and still be that grounded, it takes a lot.
Kashyap, you also directed a movie called
Wrote and directed it.
Wrote and directed The True Escobar.
Yes.
That name itself makes me feel wow. What must have gone behind coming up with such an interesting story and the whole thing, and it also won awards.
It did.
So how did that happen?
How that happened was so Swagata Nayak, who's acting in it, she and I worked together. We run a small production house. It's a budding production house called Same Old Stories. Because at the end of the day, every story is the same old story. They say, right? Every story comes from these 5 stories that are there, and udhar se sab kuch aata hai. So I'll just say this before I answer the question, that if you look at my trajectory in this industry, everything that I have done, every single thing, be it my first OTT, which was Dula Wanted on iDiva, the story was about the girl, the protagonist was the girl. Then I did 13 Masuri, which was about Shreya's character, my sister in it, and it was about a woman. Every single thing that I have done is the story revolves around a woman, and I feel extremely fortunate. And I'm not just saying that because this is something which I was thinking about a month ago, and I'm like, how is this possible? Even my theatre, even Devika Rani, which I did with Lilith Dubey, who was the director of the show, and the story was around Devika Rani. Kodem, Fame Game, Bombay Begums, Made in Heaven is Tara's story in a lot of ways, and then of course Karan's story. So these are the 2 protagonists. The other film, my film that is coming out, my international work that I have done is about a woman. So I think it was, to start with, it was just something I wanted to give back. And Swagata and I worked a lot. She's a writer herself, she's a director herself, she's an actor herself, and there is something very interesting about her in the way she just changes herself when she becomes a character. And I wanted to just throw this challenge at her, because she comes from different parts of the country, Delhi, Calcutta, mostly northeast, Ranchi and all of that, because she's an army kid. And she has this quirk of imitating people very well. And I wanted to just explore that side of hers, of a girl in the slums in Bombay. And I was writing, actually, it was a monologue that I was writing. When I started this, it was a monologue that we were writing, because we had back then something called as film crawls, and we would keep writing pieces, and we would perform this as actors, so that then we can send those to casting directors, and they can see the range of characters that we can play. I wrote that as a monologue, and then I started to see her perform it as a monologue, and I started to see the details that she got into, and I kid you not, and I mean it, I kid you not, it was 2 days before we shot this that I decided, hey, this is not just going to be a monologue where she's going to sit down and we're going to capture her out there somewhere. No, I decided to make a short film out of it. And the morning that we stepped out to shoot, we had no location. We had no everything that you see in the film is हम Carter Road पहुँचे, we went to the cops over there and I just requested them. I speak Marathi. I'm a Bombay kid, so I speak Marathi. I spoke to them and I said, sir, please, बघून घ्या काहीतरी काय असेल तर सांगा मला. He said, okay, तुम्ही इथे तिला बसू द्या. And then before too many people come, walking, you should be out of this place. I said, okay. So we were there at 5 in the morning, and we made her sit there, started shooting there. Then we finished one bit of the writing. Then we were like, okay, we need to get into a house now. We need to get into Bittu's house now. So I called my house help, and she said, you can come to my house and do it, and she let us in there. Then we stepped out in the afternoon for the next part of the film, and I remember we had identified right here, this road down towards Bagel Shop. There was a dilapidated bus which I wanted her to sit in and maybe smoke, with someone, because that's Bittu Escobar, and she deals in hash and all of these things. And suddenly some security comes, he's like, no, you can't do it.
Oh.
And we're like, okay, now what do we do? So we just walk across, and I see this cafe, Cafe Rani over here, and I just go to that uncle, can I just do one small thing over here? He's like, tumhara hi hai, tum karo, tumko jo karna hai. This is how it came about.
Wow.
This is how we made the film. With one small Sony A7 that my friend Reed Gabo was carrying, and Swagata was just going around, and I was just directing, and it was just honest filmmaking. We just wanted to make something good.
That's amazing, and it turned out to be.
It turned out well. It turned out well. I'm very happy about.
You've been part of such amazing projects. If you had to pick one and say this is my favorite, would you have a pick on it? Like you've been with international projects like Not Out, Custody, Pain Game, now with Made in Heaven, and there are so many more. I mean, so is there one favorite child here?
So, the excitement of, there hasn't been a time where at the same time I have closed two projects and I have to shoot for one and then be shooting for the other, more or less simultaneously, so to speak. So the excitement of closing every project has been very, very special. So to say that one is more than the other, no, I won't do that.
Okay.
I won't do that. Every single thing, because every single thing has led to the other. Every single piece that I have worked on, there has work gone into it in creating that character. There's a lot of truth gone into it. There's a lot of pain gone into it. There's a lot of laughter, smiles, love gone into it. So no, every single one, and I mean it. I'm not just saying it, for. It's been special in every way.
Wow.
Yeah, every single piece.
Thank you, Kashyap. You've been so amazing so
far. Thank you so much.
Now we're going to lighten up the mood, playing some fun games with our guests, around alcohol, and you can either answer or take a sip if you don't feel like answering that question. But we would request answer as well as drink if you want to.
So either answer or drink or both?
Both. You can do both also.
Okay.
But yeah.
So anytime I answer, I have to have a drink.
Yes, you can.
Okay, I take a sip.
The round is very simple. If you like the choice that I'm talking about, the question that I'm giving you, you can say it's Made in Heaven.
Okay.
Or if it's not something that you like, then you can say it's Made in Hell.
Okay.
So that's very simple. Keeping it very simple.
Yeah.
If you had to go on a vacation, if it was beach or going to Antarctica, which one would you prefer? Which one would be Made in Heaven or Made in Hell for you?
I haven't been to Antarctica,
okay.
So I can't comment. But yes, so for now, it's the beach.
Beach, okay.
Yeah, it's the beach.
Beaches are Made in Heaven for you.
Yeah. It's actually mountains, but yeah, for now it is. Okay. If you ask me mountains and beaches, then I would choose mountains.
Okay.
Any day.
Cheers.
Any day. Cheers.
What about bumping into an ex-flame? How would that experience?
No, it'll be Made in Heaven, no?
Okay.
Because then I would be able to. I would have gotten wiser. I would have got smarter. I would have had more things to say, and so I'll use the smartness and the wisdom and all of that and tell them things that maybe they don't want to hear, but yeah, it's an opportunity.
It's an opportunity.
Yeah.
Definitely. What about stalking someone on social media, from a private account or an account?
No, I don't do that. And no, I don't do that. No, that doesn't happen.
Okay, if you had to make a cocktail
Huh.
for someone and the cocktail is called Made in Hell cocktail,
Huh.
what would be your choice of ingredients for that cocktail?
Beer mixed with pasties? I don't know. Or no. That sounds good actually. Maybe that might taste nice.
So, what would that drink be?
Something that is made in hell.
Yeah,
That
something-
makes someone else. This
Yeah.
is made in hell. Would be a whiskey sour mixed with thumbs up.
Okay.
And
Okay,
thumbs up for the bitters basically. I don't know. Maybe some people will like it. Some I know will not. Yeah. And I want them to have it. Cheers.
You spoke about Fame Game, you spoke about Made in Heaven. Is there a choice in between these two characters?
Made in Heaven has started my fame game. So yes, so it's that. It's cheers. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
You've
so
been
much.
So good, and because you've been so sweet with us and
Oh,
the
some more
audience
alcohol,
of
is it?
Madira
Thank
Vogue.
you.
Thank you so
Thank you
much
so
for
much.
taking out time for us.
Thank you. It was really special, and thank you for having me on the show. And
Pleasure's
yeah,
all
keep
ours.
killing it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and this is fun that you keep having your guest have a drink and answer questions, just making them comfortable, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And all the best for all
Thank
the
you.
lovely characters which we'll see in the future.
You will very soon.
Thank you.